Today on CJ Off-Road, we're going to be installing the Falcon Nexus 2.2 steering stabilizer onto the front end of our 2018 JL Wrangler. Now this Falcon steering stabilizer is specifically designed for the 2018 and newer, both JL 2-door and 4-door Wrangler. Features their fast adjustment on the front here for both soft, medium, and firm driving abilities. This is going to let you dial this in for any type of terrain, off-road, on-road, high speed, low speed. Anything that you want, this is going to be able to do it. It includes all the brackets that you need to put it on. There's no adjustment necessary. You don't need to worry about lining it up in the center point. It bolts directly onto your factory locations and gives you all the hardware and torque specs. TeraFlex knocked it out of the park with their Falcon steering stabilizer. I'm excited to throw it on the front end of our 2018 JL. Let's get started. First thing that we're going to do after you have the steering stabilizer out is remove the two bolts holding on the brackets here. You're not going to reuse the hardware or the brackets. TeraFlex includes some new stuff. So you just get these pulled out using an 18mm socket on the bottom. And the top you don't have to worry about because it's held into place by the squared off flange inside there. All thing you might have to do is hold it down a little bit so it doesn't spin. And you can pull the nut right off. And that'll come up through once I turn it a little bit. So a little tip here, if you go inside the vehicle and turn it all the way to the passenger side, you can pull these out. This one will come straight out, and then the next one here, and we can ditch the factory bracket. Okay guys, so now it's a little bit tricky. TeraFlex includes basically 3 different spacers here. So these two are the same, the big ones, and then this little one only has 2 holes. So what you're gonna do is actually set it right in line like this. You're gonna put it right into place, and then that's gonna go on the top. So that spacer will go right over those 2 holes, and then this one will go here. Now what we're gonna do is use the included TeraFlex hardware and put the one that's kind of curved off like that towards the back. It'll make it easier to pass the drag link knuckle and go into place. And then up front, you're gonna use the other included bolt after you align all of this to go right through. And then down below, you'll get the lower part of the bracket, which will get bolted on with the included 18mm nuts. So that's complete assembly. I'm not gonna tighten it down yet because we do still have to work on the center bracket and then get the end of the steering stabilizer in there. So let's do that now. There's gonna be 3 13mm bolts that hold on this bracket in the center. Go ahead and grab a ratchet and get that entire bracket removed, but make sure you retain the factory hardware as you will be reusing that. Just 1 bolt. If you have a lifted Jeep, it'll make it easier getting this 3rd bolt out. If yours is stock, you might have to loosen up and remove the lower track bar bolt just so you can get behind there, or use just like a flathead wrench. But there you go, it's completely removed. You don't need this bracket anymore since TeraFlex includes it built into the steering stabilizer. We're gonna set this up into place, use the included red Loctite just to put a little bit on there, and then get the factory bolts back to their home. There we go. Got 2 of them snugged up. Let's get the 3rd that's on the back here. Rotate this a little bit. And now we can get these tightened down to 30 foot-pounds. First I'm gonna use a regular ratchet and then use a torque wrench. Now we can work up here on the top end. Just gonna hand tighten these. We'll get them tightened down with the ratchet first. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the torque wrench, get those down to 30 foot-pounds. There we have it on that one. That one's already there. Lower one, we'll take off this extension. Get that to 30 foot-pounds as well. And we are there. Now let's go to the other end and get that torque down as well. Okay guys, last thing we need to do is get the wheel and tire aligned so we can drop the original steering stabilizer bolt down through the top, and then also in through the bottom. And use the factory nut down below. These are all going to use an 18mm to get them tightened down, so I'm going to do that right now. That one's tight. Let's work on to the next one. And now the last one, the factory one that goes into the steering stabilizer. Get this one nice and tight too. Then we'll get these torqued down to spec in a second. So for these three, you're going to torque them all down to 59 foot-pounds. And we're probably already past that. Yep. And that's it, guys. The install is complete. So one thing that Falcon shocks are really known for is their adjustability. With the Nexus stabilizer, it's no different. This features their fast adjust system, which lets you go from soft to medium to firm. Now you're gonna be able to use this in a lot of applications, and one thing I like to do is actually test these products. You know, a lot of companies say the shocks are adjustable, but are they really? So let's put this to soft, and I'll show you guys just how easy it is to push our tire over here like you would in a turning situation. We're jacked up under the control arms, so I'm just gonna show you what kind of force it takes to push the tire out on soft. So I can do that relatively easy, just leaning into it. It's not really that hard. So I'll pull it back into place. Here's about center. Now let's go ahead and put it to medium. All right, we're set into medium. Try the same thing. Same location. Definitely a little bit more difficult to push. Not as crazy noticeable, but a little bit more. Okay, now let's go to firm, which I just tried it off camera. This is pretty crazy. So now let's push it in firm. All I could to push that in firm, and I'm not BSing you guys here. The Falcon shocks, the Nexus stabilizers, they really work. So I can't imagine what this thing's gonna feel like on the highway. I'm really excited to go out and test it out. If you guys wanna find some Falcon shocks as well as some more TeraFlex parts for your JL, be sure to check us out at cjponyparts.com. Hope you enjoyed that video. To stay up to date on our CJ Off-Road videos, make sure to subscribe up top here. And for any other installs, make sure to click the link right above.